And so on yesterday, we talked about planning, preparation, planning. How many of y'all know that if you if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, right?
Right.
If you fail to plan, then you plan
And
to
to hear. That's
fail.
it.
And and I always try to leave y'all some with some, maybe you all didn't go to church today. And so we'll give y'all a message on today.
Yes, sir.
Gonna help you out in this planning process. Because I want y'all to understand about planning. All right. And planning in preparation is key. Planning and preparation is key. Many times people uh, don't understand planning and preparation. And sometimes when the time comes when they need to be able to, an opportunity arises, they miss the opportunity because they did not prepare a plan. Now, the opportunity was for them. It was for them, but they didn't prepare for the opportunity. So therefore, they miss it. And so how many of y'all know that God created the heavens and the earth? And when He created the heavens and the earth, many times people don't really understand what that really means. Uh, you know what the Bible says, but don't know what it's saying. But when God created the heavens and the earth, God created time and change. When God created the heavens and the earth, I want you to understand, listen, what was God doing when He created the heavens and the earth? He put the stars in the sky. And the stars, what do you know about the stars? The stars, they operate and with the world just like a massive clock. And the world keeps going around and around and around. That is what? Time and change. Time and change, uh, when we think about, the world, God created the world and put time and change in it as a seed for us to be able to grow and germinate. For the world to be able to grow and germinate, you need to have time and change and space for creation to be able to manifest anything. So time and change is critical. Right. And so many times time, can be like a curse to some people, but really time and change was a gift from God. It was a gift. It was given to us, and so that we can be able to have the time to be able to grow into the person, into the one, to provide, and also for creation to grow. And without time and change, the seed can't grow now, can it? Just think about and time and change as a seed that God put into the earth for the creation to even grow. So time and change sometimes can feel like a punishment because when the change comes, a person is not ready for it because it was meant for you to be able to be in that position prepared for the change so you could what it could be a gift for you. But here's the thing, but if we don't grow, then if we just stay stuck, then sometimes time and change will be like a curse. It would be as if it was something that I wish I did. Have you ever said to yourself, man, I wish I could turn back the hands of time. I wish I could turn back. So what it is saying? It's saying I regret. They're regretting something that they did not do when they had an opportunity to do it. Now The time has come and they missed it. So if God wanted us to just settle where we are, I want you to know if God just wanted you to settle for just who you are, then he would have just created you finished. But when you were born a baby. A baby has to then, as a seed, then germinate even what? In that seed of a mother's womb for 9 months. Then they grow. And so he didn't create you finished. Instead, he created us as being someone who become into who you was destined to be. And time gives us room for that to accomplish. Time gives us the ability to have the space to grow into the character, to grow into the wisdom, to grow into maturity, and to become who he destined us to be. And change is like the soil that allows the roots to grow deeper. So change is if things did not change in your life, then you couldn't grow deeper and you would not be able to grow. And so even right now, there's some things that are changing, even in the seasons, the times, the seasons that change. And everything is according to uh, the way that the world works. And without it, nothing will grow. But also without it, nothing will survive without change. But here's the tension. The same gift that grows us will expose us if we don't steward it. The same thing that grows us will come and be like it will come and be like a curse to us if we don't prepare for it. That's what I'm saying. So examples for time and change versus ignoring it. Here's a planner. This planner, you got two people who are called to lead, and one understands that his leadership is grown and granted. So he studies, he accepts correction, he builds discipline, he prepares for the future, he prepares for responsibility, and then when the opportunity comes, it doesn't overwhelm him. It reveals them. And the results of it is now time works for him. The growth feels not challenging, but it feels purposeful. Now here's the other person. Here's the drifter. Here's the person that drifts. He just, just coming and drifting along the way. He assumes that it's it's gonna happen. I ain't gotta prepare for it. No consistency. Don't make no adjustments. When the season change, when the time passes, now he feel frustrated because he's being left behind. He feels confused because he was thinking that time was going to wait for him, but time don't wait for nobody. When time's going forward, it's going to move forward. And the results is feel like now he feel like time has has stolen something from him. But time didn't steal anything from him. He just did not prepare for what was prepared for him. And so it was left. So now change feels like lost, not because God failed, but because the preparation was not taken advantage of. So therefore, if you don't take advantage of the preparation, then now you miss out on the opportunity. Now here's the builder. Here's a builder versus the wishful thinker. This person right here saves. He saves his money gradually. He don't just blow it and spend it on things. He learns new skills along the way. Then he builds new relationships. And then he adapts to the seasons. He adapts to the change. He don't just wish for thinking. He prepares. He don't just hopes things going to improve without making a habit of preparing himself. Now, you got two people, both receive the same time, but only one uses it intentionally. So sometimes time will feel like a curse because when that person does not prepare for it, time is not going to slow down for them. So now they confused because change doesn't wait for people who just want to be comfortable. And so when you don't plan and just want to live life comfortable, then there's some things with what we see two sides to everything. So we interpret the daily as denial, growth as pressure, change becomes a punishment. But when we prepare, we see we see change as training. See, this kind of person see change as this is a training ground. This is not torment. This is a training. I put my mind in training for the preparation for I know there's going to be a time. Because when that time comes, if I have not trained for it, if I have not made my mind prepared for it, then guess what? Time and change will crush you instead of make you. It will crush you and it will leave you behind. So, three keys. You want to make every moment, make it the best moments of your everyday life. Number one, the way you want to do this, you got to shift from being reaction to intention. You can't live life by reacting to time. No, you got to already be intentional about it. You can't just, when time changes and it comes, now you got to react to it. You can't live that life. You got to be intentional. Stop only responding to life, but start directing life. And so you got to ask yourself regularly, who am I? And so, and we talked about this. And so, who am I? Who am I? If I know who I am, then I know what I'm supposed to be doing. If I don't know who I am, then I don't know why I'm here. And if I don't know why I'm here, then I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't know where I'm going. So, who are you becoming in this season? What is this season training me for? Success isn't accidental. It's in line with intention. Success, when you see people successful and they're doing things successful, it had nothing to do with luck. It didn't just accidentally just slip up there. It it is intention aligned over a period of time consistently, consistently drilling and training over a period of time. And then you see a person and you say, man, how did they get there? And you don't know that's been 20 years in making. Number two, you got to know how to honor small steps. You got to know how to honor small steps. See, God rarely builds greatness overnight. See, sometimes people want to get there overnight. And there's nobody that's ever did anything great. They just happened overnight. No, it's the small things that you don't see people doing in the middle of the night while everybody's sleeping. That is the thing that when God creates greatness. When you see them, you seeing what has been done over a period of time in the dark, now coming to light. Right? See, he builds it in the nighttime. And then in the daytime, now you will see it. one habit, one decision, one action of obedience, one after another. And then now, when it looks like it's, impressive, but you don't know, you don't see what happens in behind closed doors. Some people can look like, okay, well, it's impressive, but you don't see what they fighting, what kind of pain they had to go through behind closed doors. Number three, you got to prepare for where you're going, not just for where you are. You got to live today with tomorrow in mind. You got to learn what your future will require. You got to learn that your future is something that you have to create because God created you a creator and you were made in the image of God. So if you don't put it in your mind, then you can't put it into the atmosphere. So he made you so you can be able to put what's in the unseen and bring it on the scene. You have to build discipline before demand, develop character before opportunity. And that's what faith is. Faith is preparation in motion. Sometimes people think, okay, well, you can just pray and then believe God and God's going to bring a miracle for you. No, faith is preparation over a period of time placed in motion and believed until it's manifested. That's what faith is. And see, the bottom line truth is time and change don't destroy destiny. Time and change really delivers it, but only to those who respect the season, who put in the work, who prepare for growth, who walk forward with intention. So then what feels like waiting is often what God is saying, I'm making room for what you're becoming. I'm making room for what you become. So time and change. See, here's what you got to find out. See, God is giving you the gift of time to change into the person to make room for what is coming. But you got to understand that something is coming. I know something coming so big, and I'm not going to waste time because I got to work on me to change to make room to handle what's coming. So most people don't even believe something coming, so they don't make room for it. So therefore, they just stay the same. But what about you? Which one are you going to be? So if you want to just be a follower for the rest of your life, then that's fine. There's several people that are here to lead you along the way. But if you have any kind of leadership that's in you that says that, you know what, I got something that I want to be able to change, I want to make a difference, then this it's time for you. This might help you, and you can turn all of your visions and your dreams into a reality just by using this what I call preparation and planning. And now time and change can be that seed that God plants into your creation and cause everything that you want and wish for in your life to come to pass. That seed, a seed carries potential, not completion. So God didn't just create outcomes, He created process. See, we have to learn how to go through the process. Because if you don't go through the process, see, process is that place where He's building you, He's making you, He's molding you into who He wants you to be. So that process is not, sometimes it's not pretty. If you quit while you're going through the process, then you forfeit everything on the end of the process. So think about it. A seed needs time to grow. And when you plant the seed into the ground, it's going into the ground and it's going to be dirty. It's when it going into that ground, it's going through the process. It's crushing. It's undergoing change. And it has to go through that change in order for it to fulfill his purpose. The pressure of the soil isn't the punishment, it is the positioning. And in the same way, God, He plants time and change so that our positioning would mature. Time and change is positioning us to mature instead of just being stuck and stagnant, deepening instead of being shallow. Because if a seed is just shallow, it won't it won't go to its full potential. The roots can't go down so it can grow. Instead of just existing. All right. So without time and change, nothing can grow, nothing can ripen. Without change, nothing can be transformed. You see, you don't want to conform, you want to be transformed. See, the world wants you to conform to its system. See, but the kingdom system wants you to be transformed. Transform is a difference. So that's why the scripture always says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind has to be renewed. And these scriptures often, it ties to the seasons. Seasons change. Each season is meant so things can transform. They're not random. They're divine rhythms. Each season, things transform, they change. And each one activates something different. They're activating something inside that seed. There's something inside that seed that has to penetrate and grow. So when the roots go down, now, guess what? What comes out of it is the manifestation, is what has been transformed. So when we resist time and change, what we're doing is often resisting the very system that God designed to bring us to our full potential. When you resist the process, you're really resisting time and change to bring you to full maturity. So therefore, you never reach all that's in you. So you become frustrated because there's fullness that's in you that has not been released. There's something fullness that's in you that has not been broken out. You have greatness inside of you. He placed it in you even before the foundation of the world. He knew you. He said, I knew you. You are mine. I placed you. And he placed this in you for purpose. But when you operate with God by planning and preparation and trusting in the process and yielding to the King, you're not fighting God's design, but now you're partnering with him. He make you a partner into his plan. He make you a partner into his plan, and then he gives you the power through him to manifest it. So yes, time and change is a gift. It's not a it's not an interruption in God's plan, but time and change is God's plan. Is how God plans to help you to grow into the person to be able to manifest and handle all that he has for you. So a seed doesn't rush into the season. It learns into it. It leans into it. It just flows with the process, knowing what's hidden now will someday be revealed. So what's hidden now, no matter what it is, whether it is something that has been prepared for or something that has not been prepared for, time and change will tell. Time and change will tell whether or not it's something that has been prepared for or whether it's something that has not been prepared for. Guess what? Won't time and change tell? Time and change will tell. It will let you know what you have been doing. All right. So that gives you a little message there to help you out. I want you to all to be able to take this and be able to, think about it. Think over your life. Look back over your life and see where where areas in which you said, man, you know what? I wasn't prepared for that moment. But if I was, guess what would have happened? So now, guess what? The good news is there's always another season. The season always come back around on it. That's why it's a gift from God because he put it in place as a preparation tool. You know there's going to always be winter, spring, summer, and fall. Now, if you never prepare for the winter season, if you never prepared for the winter season, yeah, you might miss it. Right? There's some things that may happen that you might miss it. And now your spring and your summer may not be such good springs and summers. But guess what? He's going to bring it back around for you because he's so good. So this time, the opportunity is come around. You have already what? You put in the preparation. You prepared. You prayed. You meditated. You're reading. You're studying. You're training. You're putting yourself in position so that, hey, you know what? I've set my date, right? And we understand we told somebody and we've identified support. Now I put my plan in place now. And what comes next after that is now I have to what? I have to understand there's going to be some alternatives I have to put in place. I have to learn new skills. I have to learn some new responsibilities. And so that each moment of our lives, every second, every minute, every hour of the day, you are putting it into preparation for your destiny. All right. Y'all got y'all word for today? That's y'all word for today. Guess what? Man, this right here is is rich, isn't it? And is that all right? Was it all right? Is it rich? Is it timely? Was it right on time? Yeah, I know it was right on time because I know what I'm saying to you, I'm saying to myself. What I'm saying to you, I'm using it for my own self. So it's not just for you, it's for me too. So when you know when things is working all now it's for you and someone else. It's not just for them, not just for them. No, I'm speaking this even to my own self. See, because time and change waits for no one. Time and change waits for no one. Now you can think that you have a monopoly in the game, but there's no monopoly in change. It's one thing you want to hear prophecy, time and change will always be consistent. No matter what, you cannot go back and change time. It's always going to be consistent. The rich man, the poor man, right? All have what? 24 hours. They all they have to answer to time and change. They all have to answer to time and change. But what is the difference? What's the difference from the rich man and the poor man? The only difference is I'm giving you the clues. The key to it is it's not by happenstance, it's not by luck, it's not by accident, it's by planning and preparation. Period. Somebody took the time to change, while the other person took time to sleep, took time to make high risk choices, took time and just wasted it, while the other one took time to change. And now, if you get this right here, if you understand what I'm saying right now, guess what? What I'm trying to make you is I'm trying to cause you to be immune to time and change. That no matter what season comes, no matter what change may happen in your life, you will always be self sufficient, having more than enough, not being any way near touched or affected by whatever change or time may come. Because guess what? You will always be prepared for it. That's the secret. That's the whole key. If anybody tell you different, if anybody tell you different, I question. I will question them in a hurry. So I'm giving you the, you want to be immune to time and change? All you got to do is what? Plan and prepare. So that's what we're talking about today. That's why we're talking about planning and preparing, right? Planning and preparing. So y'all know how serious this thing is, or you understand and see the importance of planning and preparing. All right. All right. And so uh, we set a date, we tell someone, we identify support, all right? Why is it important to set a date?
You gotta have a plan.
Because it makes it real, right?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you set a date, it makes it real. It and how many of y'all ever, said you were gonna do something, but you never did it. You procrastinated. You said, "Hey,
Yeah.
dude, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna start," and you
Mm.
never get it done. You put it off to the next day. And I put it off to the next day, to the next day, until you set a date. That's when, boom, you makes it real. Because most of the time, when you set a date, it's locked in your mind. You say, "I said I'm gonna do this today," and then most people. will not lie to themselves. And they are going to be a man of their word for themselves. So when they say they're going to do it on this day, they go ahead and do it. I said I was going to make this done on the day, so I'm going to make sure I go ahead and do it. So setting the date makes it real, and it creates what? A commitment to yourself to make it done. You hold yourself accountable when you set a date. Number two, you tell somebody. Why it's important to tell somebody? You tell someone
For support.
for support, right? You identify support, right? You're identifying who you want to tell, and then it increases the accountability, right? It increases the accountability and also motivation. Now, somebody's going to be motivating you to be able to hold you accountable and motivating you, not only that, but to encouragement, for encouragement. And also it's like someone, it's good to have somebody in your corner that is, pushing you along and you have that encouragement. Number three, you identify support, right? Now, why is it important to identify support?
It is, I guess it's important to have a team.
Identifying support, that means that we have somebody that's going to what
Motivate me.
support us and motivate us. Support,
Yeah.
there's the good support and there's the wrong kind of support, right? We know what the wrong kind of support is, right?
Yeah.
We all know what the wrong kind of support. Oh, we don't have to worry about the wrong kind of support. The wrong kind of support somehow just always find a way in our direction. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Hey man, how you doing
Hmm.
today, man? What's up? You know it's you know it's Friday. I just got paid. You ain't got nothing to do. Let's go get high today. Well, the wrong kind of support, they always just come around. They just you can't you ain't gotta go find them. They come find you, don't they? Right?
Hmm.
And they just come knocking on your door. Hey man, what's up? They got that 2 for 1 at the the Mexican restaurant, man. Right? They just come find you. All right. But you have to identify the right kind of support. The right kind of support. You got to find them. You got to go and try to find out who those are. So let's look at this little quick little video again.
The way that other people have helped me, and I'm just talking about me, specifically my family, because I did a lot of damage to my family. But they're all with me on this, helping me.
The main thing was probably my wife. My wife sticking beside me while I was locked up. She made me find the person that I am. She made me realize who I was.
Moved back home May 8th. And I have been there ever since. It was a little scary at first. I was a little worried about myself. But at that time, my friends were coming back from college, my good friends, the only friends who actually ever gave a darn about me other than they never really used, so I never really used with them. And it was really great having them there the first couple months whenever I came home. It was truly a blessing. They helped me out. They would watch me. They'd go to meetings with me. They were more than supportive. And I took a couple chances some nights, and I went to a party or something, but I'd make sure that they were there. And I had a great time. I had a little bit of temptation, but they watched me. But it was really great just being able to hang out with my old friends, just have a good time without worrying about who's got money to get high.
True friendship is something I've learned throughout this. Go spend the year in jail or prison and see who writes you a letter. See who comes and sees you, see who puts money on your books. Because it won't be those people that you're getting high with or the person that sold you the dope or the person you sold dope to. I spent a year in jail and county jail and didn't get not one letter from anybody but family. And then at the very end of my sentence, I got one letter, and from a true friend, one of the ones I talked about earlier, that I hadn't seen or spoke to in years, of a high school friend whose sister-in-law had happened to see me in jail. And she told me in the letter, I used to be a fighter in high school, you know, always fighting, a bully, I guess. And she said, don't be a bitch, fight, you know, and fight for your life. And, you know, since then, I've always thought about that letter in the back of my head. And true friendship today means a lot to me.
Friends that I've used with that I can count on, I've got maybe two. The majority of my friends are the people I did not use with. They're the ones who tried telling me to quit, the ones who helped me out whenever I was in rehab, and helped my mom and my family out whenever I screwed up, and was there for me afterwards, and who've been there for me now. Those are my true friends.
The support that I got from my family was overwhelming. You know, my parents said that, you know, that was, you know, they were proud of me. That was something they were proud that I was willing to do that. You know, that after all these years of kind of resistance and, you know, telling them I had it under control, recognizing that I didn't and that I needed some help was something that they're very excited about. Immediate family, you know, it was very difficult for my wife. She worked all day, and I've got a 2-month-old at home, and I'm not there when she gets home from work because I've got to go to treatment. So that was definitely a struggle, but for her to do what she did and to support me like she did and to allow me to continue going and, you know, telling me that she had everything taken care of at home, that meant a lot to me, to know that she wanted me to get the help that I needed, and that she was willing to do whatever she had to do to make sure that everything was good.
When I started making low-risk choices, I started making it easier for myself to not have to make those high-risk choices or be maybe persuaded to or feel like I wanted to by hanging around people who didn't do those things as much. And I even went out for the play at school because I knew that most of those kids involved with that didn't use alcohol, didn't smoke, didn't, you know, go use any kind of drugs. And I knew that they sort of made their own fun and went and did things together, and that it would be, you'd kind of easily find a way into a group of people who already were making low-risk choices, so it would be easier for me.
My doctor, my grandma, my sponsor, my dad, you know, my family in general, they got me through it.
All right. I just want us to see that video again. I know we saw it. But how many of you all know that you know, it's important to have that support. Now we have support on the outside, but now we also have support on the inside. Now, you remember yesterday you all received something. You all received what? Rededicated your lives back to Christ. How many of y'all feel good about that? Right?
Yes, sir.
All of you all are now new creation in Christ. So now you have even a greater support system. All right. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we come back from break. But y'all know there was a tornado warning that's supposed to be coming through this area. So,
Yeah,
but
looking
you know
real
what?
bad.
We are safe in his arm. I just said a prayer for covering for all of us. In Jesus' name, we are protected. But let's go ahead and take a break right here. We'll come back in about 15 minutes. We'll
Okay.
come back at 4. I'm finna log off real quick, but you all can just stay on. I'm gonna log off, but if it cuts off, then you can log back in. All right.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Let's take a break.